This is The Good Government Show.
My definition of good government is when our policymakers or legislators are working in partnership with community. Community members have a seat at the table, and elected officials are actually listening and working with community members to solve issues. Let's be honest. Let's not hide anything. Let's give everybody the raw truth. That way, we at least know and can make the best available decisions based on what we're hearing. I think it goes a long way when your constituents proactively reach out and say, thanks for helping me solve that issue. Thanks for always having our back. We support you. So those are pulse checks for me that I'm on the right track. How else am I going to be grounding my decision making if I'm not with the people in the community? Have to be in touch with them in order to, I think, be effective and advocate for their issues.
Welcome to The Good Government Show and a Good Government Show Extra. I'm your host, Dave Martin. I recently attended the National Association of Counties annual conference. This is where many of the nation's county officials gather to share ideas, set a course for the coming year, and promote good government. I talked to many county leaders and asked them to define what good government means to them and how they measure their success. Here on this special edition of The Good Government Show are their answers. It's our own Good Government Show questionnaire. And on this episode, we're going to go to Hawaii. Well, not really. I wish. But when I met Ashley Kierkiewicz, I felt like I was almost there. County Council member Kierkiewicz is Hawaii born and raised. And you think, what problems could there possibly be in Hawaii? But she has serious challenges in her district, and we'll learn more about them when we come back with that conversation with Council member Ashley Kierkiewicz right after this. The Good Government Show is sponsored by NACO. That's the National Association of Counties. County government is actually the oldest form of government in the United States and touches more people directly. Think about it. Roads, highways, hospitals, schools, recycling, law enforcement, water and sewers. In most of the country, those services are maintained by the county. That's county government. NACO is a nationwide organization, and they represent all 3,069 counties across the USA. NACO helps county government work better together through things like sharing best practices. And as we see in this and other episodes, when county government works well, that's just good government. The Good Government Show gets many of our stories from NACO, so thanks for the stories, and thanks, NACO, for working to support good government. Welcome back to The Good Government Show. If you like what you hear, then please like us and follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and rate us on the podcast platform where you're listening now. Your comments help us continue to tell these great stories. And of course, listen to season 2 of The Good Government Show. Now, here's my conversation with Ashley from Hawaii. This is David Martin. This is a special edition of The Good Government Show. I'm here with Ashley Kierkiewicz from Hawaii, a county commissioner from Hawaii. We are here at the National Association of Counties annual convention, and I wanted to talk with you a little bit about government. But first, if you could introduce yourself, tell me who you are, your middle name as well, where you're from, and what brought you here.
Aloha, David. It is so good to be with you. My full name is Ashley Lehualani Kierkiewicz. I hail from Hawai'i Island. I was born and raised there and just so lucky to be representing that particular community. I'm a mother of 2. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. I graduated from the University of Hawaii at Hilo with a bachelor's degree in political science. I interned for Senator Daniel Akaka in Washington, D.C. I've always considered myself a political animal, and so I'm really happy to be in this capacity of, I think, building trust in community so that people think government is actually good and doing something good for them.
But do you surf?
I do surf. That is actually how I met my partner. I left my phone number on his truck. Call me. True story.
Was he a very good surfer as well?
You know what? I taught him a few tricks. There was some of that going on. But yes, we do surf. That is an absolute pastime of ours.
How often do you get out?
Not often enough, but we do have folks in the county government that surf as well. So we have these things called board meetings.
For real?
In the water.
This is you only do this in Hawaii. Tell me about a board meeting.
Board meeting. Well, we all paddle out together.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're talking story about work, but mostly it's just to, let off some steam. There's a lot of pressure that we are facing as county government, as you know. So it's a good way to just get out. Is there a level of
pressure in the competition?
Absolutely. I leave those boys in the dust.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, all right. Well, you've been doing it your whole life. So I wanted just to talk to you a little bit about government and about what government means to you and what people should know about government. So what is good government to you?
My definition of good government is when our policymakers or legislators are working in partnership with community. Community members have a seat at the table, and elected officials are actually listening and working with community members to solve issues. Everybody, I think, has a contribution to make in building and sustaining our communities.
How do the people that you serve, how do they know, and not just you serve, but anywhere in the country, how do they know if they're actually getting good, effective government?
I'll give you an example.
Sure.
So our office worked with the Kilauea recovery team. I don't think I mentioned this to you, but I represent the district that was inundated by lava in 2018. And we thought we have to do things differently. There's no trust. There's a history of broken trust in our community. And so we went after the USDA Rural Placemaking Innovation Challenge, our PIT grant. We're one of 13 communities across the country that were selected. And our demonstration is, can community and government work together? We developed this beautiful recovery and resilience plan, $1.8 million plan. And this particular grant is helping us to work in partnership with community members to take action on that plan. And it's working. We have been implementing this grant for over a year. More and more people are coming to our events, signing up for these resilience committees, and they're committed to taking action.
And what do the people in the community, like when they come to these meetings, what's their reaction?
They are, I think, really impressed that so many members of county government are showing up on a regular basis and being very transparent about information. That's something that I really expect of our directors is even if we have bad news to deliver it. Let's be honest. Let's not hide anything. Let's give everybody the raw truth. That way we at least know and can make the best available decisions based on what we're hearing.
So just tell me.
Yeah,
Don't
tell me.
sugarcoat it.
Don't sugarcoat it. Don't lie to me.
Right.
That's the other thing too. We do not. I don't like to tolerate lies.
There is certainly a perception in America right now that all politicians lie. This guy lies more than the other. How do you combat that?
How do I just show up. I'm who I am. I'm one of the people. I make sure that I am always in constant connection and communication with my community, and so there's trust there. There's absolute trust there. I will take the administration on if I have to, because that's what the people need. They need a champion. They need someone to be elevating their issues and being their voice, and so I make sure to deliver the truth.
How do you know? What's your personal yardstick for knowing if you've been effective, if you've been providing good leadership, good role models, and ultimately good government?
Being reelected. So here,
Okay.
for Hawaii County, right, we are limited to 8 years. And so we're up for reelection again this year.
How long have you served?
This is my 4th year in office. And so I'm up for my 3rd term. And I have folks that are coming up to me all the time saying, we need you. We need you there. I will do everything I can to support you to make sure that you are continuing to be, our public servant.
Other than being reelected, is there anything that you look for day to day, week to week, over time, over the year, so that you've done a good job and that you can explain to the people how you've done a good job?
I will be in the local grocery store and someone will be like, hey, you're Ashley, our council member, right? Thanks for doing a good job. And sometimes that sort of acknowledgement and recognition comes on the very worst days that I'm having at work. And so I'm like, okay, there's a reason why I am here and I'm doing this work. People see you and they appreciate you. We don't always, I think, as public servants get recognition or just a thanks, a simple thank you. And I don't think we're serving to get awards or anything, but I think it goes a long way when your constituents proactively reach out and say, thanks for helping me solve that issue. Thanks for always having our back. We support you. So those are pulse checks for me that I'm on the right track and doing things. And I think another testament is when people show up, when we have activations and events and projects and policy, people are showing up to testify. They're showing up to participate. I think it's because they believe in the leadership that's being provided.
By being a county commissioner, you're sort of closer to the ground. I mean, you said you had 2 kids. You said you were in the grocery store.
Yep.
So you're out in the community. Do you think
Absolutely.
that helps? Do you think that makes a difference?
Yes. How else am I going to be grounding my decision making if I'm not with the people in the community? Have to be in touch with them in order to, I think, be effective and advocate for their issues.
It's got to be hard sometimes when you're sort of frazzled and you're picking your kids up from sports or class and something, and you've got to run to the grocery store to get something for dinner.
You're always on.
You're always on.
Yeah, you're always on. But I'm here for it. I love that.
So you can't run out in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
I do. And I really think that I'm going incognito and people still recognize me. But it is what it is.
So you work for the people. What should the people look for to know that you're being effective, or to know that their elected leaders are working for them? What should they look for?
I mean, someone that's always engaging you, listening to you, and helping to problem solve with you. And
do you find that they're honest and aggressive when you see them out in the supermarket and at the beach? Really depends on the issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I really think it depends on the issue, but I haven't had anybody like chew my head off over anything.
No.
Yeah, I think people I also know to not take it personally. Right? Sometimes, especially with lava recovery, right? We are trying to restore critical infrastructure. And in the last administration, some work wasn't happening. And so I know when they're getting frustrated and upset about their roads and not being restored, it's not aimed at me. It's at the larger system. And once they get it out of their system, we're okay. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same team.
We were just at a breakout session where you spoke a little bit about what happened. Just briefly, if you could, just tell folks who are listening, like what happened. This is very unique to Hawaii. What happened and where are you with it?
In May 2018, there was an eruption in the Puna district of Hawai'i Island that lasted for about 4 months. Day one on the scene, I worked with a number of folks in the community to start Pu'uhonua o Puna, Information and Supply Hub. Pu'uhonua means place of refuge. We weren't satisfied with the response that was being provided by the usual emergency response partners. We, as residents of the area, wanted to do things our way. And so we started an information and supply depot that basically grew overnight, was watched globally. People were sending in donations from all over the world, and it was one way in which we were taking care of our community. And so our community is still recovering to this day. I talked about in that session about revitalization.
Well, you talked about,
I did, but people are still recovering.
Is that correct?
Whole communities gone.
How many communities? How many towns? I've never been in a lava flow, so
yeah, there are various subdivisions,
yeah.
But over 700 homes were destroyed. 14 square miles under lava. Natural hot springs, recreational facilities, water systems, roads gone under 80 feet of lava. And imagine having to restore that.
And when
a little
that
bit
lava,
complicated.
And when that lava cools, you're left with rock. Is that fair?
Yes. Yep. It's still cooling. You can drive through areas and still see steam coming out.
And how do you get rid of it?
What do you mean?
How do you get rid of the rock?
Oh, well, we're going to have to use a series of dynamites and D9s and D10s and plow our way through to restore that infrastructure. And that's a commitment that we've made because we've received federal dollars to not just put some infrastructure back, but also think about folks that were impacted by the eruption and have moved to other Puna communities. How do we invest in infrastructure there so that they are reaping the benefits as well? And in turn, there's more positive impact to those other communities.
Is this something you deal with every day?
There's no playbook for how you recover from lava. And so
right.
I love the fact that one of my strengths is I'm a convener and also have this like frontier thinking. I know where we need to go. And so I'm not afraid of working and doing the hard work to figure out how we're going to get there.
So as a county official, as a government official, what would you like people to do to know if they think they aren't getting good government, if they think the government's not responsive, what should they do? What's their role in this?
I think folks need to show up and be engaged. I think throughout this process, what I've seen is, I guess I was surprised at the lack of civic engagement and the confusion on issues. So folks thinking that a county problem is actually a state problem. And so really encourage folks in the community to understand what each level of government is responsible for. And don't just leap to conclusions. Don't make assumptions. Don't think everybody is a bad, county employee. We have a lot of incredible county workers that are wearing multiple hats because there's a lot of openings in county government. So folks should do their research, stay engaged, and figure out, rather than, what county government can do for you, what are ways in which you can get involved and help to build that vibrant community.
Isn't that pretty much JFK? That's not what you...
absolutely. My dad quoted him all the time.
Really?
Yes.
Was your dad in politics?
No,
Government?
my dad was not. He unfortunately passed away, and that's why this tattoo that I have here, Bene Vidi Vici, I came, I saw it, conquered, was something he would always say as well. And so he was actually in the automotive recycling business.
Okay.
So I grew up on a junkyard. Was he a native
Hawaiian as well?
No, my dad was from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So you're an elected official, you're a government official, you're a county commissioner. What do people need to know about government, about the inner workings of government? I mean, the stuff maybe that you do when you're having your board meeting on the waves or before the waves. I mean, what should people know about how government works?
It's complex, right? There are no easy answers. Honestly, I wish things could move a little bit faster. And the real honesty of it is it's messy. It's messy.
Does it have to be?
I don't always think so. I am trying to make things a bit more efficient. I like systems management. And so anytime I can make things a bit more efficient and effective, I will. But I think the culture of government is a little bit stuck. I don't know if everybody's prepared for that kind of innovation, but have to keep trying.
So you just kind of want to tell everybody, we're working on it.
No, I mean, I'm a rebel with a cause.
Okay.
We are trying to make some huge historic shifts. And I think with the pandemic and all these federal funds that are available, there is an opportunity to make those systemic changes in county government. We have to, or we're going to be left behind.
Are you optimistic?
Absolutely. I'm a glass that's all the way full kind of girl, full of water, full of air.
Before you became a government official, what did you do?
I worked in public relations and community outreach. So I had clients in the energy sector, in local and state government, private business, nonprofits, and I was doing work statewide.
And liaising with lots of different people, and you were good at communicating and getting the word out? I
think that work really helped to prepare me for how to be an effective public official. Absolutely. Because people expect you to kind of communicate every step of the way, what's happening, to break down very complex issues, not to dumb anything down, but sometimes we get so wonky and legalese in county government. It's a great, just being able to articulate that in a very relatable and simple manner, I think is very helpful to folks.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but fine. You said that you have one more campaign election at this level. So
I'm on my third term right now, and then 2024, I can run for my fourth and final term. Yes.
And do you anticipate staying in government in some way, shape, or form and continuing to serve?
I'd like to. I haven't really figured out what that looks like. I mean, there are all kinds of options,
sure.
Statewide races are particular of interest to me, but we'll see. Lots can happen between now and then.
But I wouldn't want to leave Hawaii for some...
I would never leave Hawaii. It would certainly be something that keeps me home. I've got kids that I'm still raising, and I always want to find ways to give back to my community, whether it's an elected official or working in the administration. We'll see.
And before you go, I know we talked a lot about the lava cleanup and the reconditioning and programs that you've started to reclaim beaches and things like that. Can you give me another example of some really great government in your neighborhood?
Yeah. So I'm a volunteer board member for Vibrant Hawaii. It is a collective action group, and we work in the spaces of resilience hubs, economy, housing, health, and education. I chair two of those streams, resilience hubs and economy. During the pandemic, we leveraged $2 million of CARES money to activate more than 30 resilience hubs around Hawai'i Island, where we were pushing out laptops, food bags, resilience programming. That led to a $1 million private donation where we could help build capacity of our hubs even further and help them to become economically sustainable. That led to an $800,000 donation from philanthropy. We are in phase 3 of hubs right now, where we are providing coaching. I'm providing the coaching and the technical assistance, working with a team of people to help our communities be prepared so that if there is a lava flow, the impacts of climate change, whatever have you, in these blue sky moments, they're delivering programming, but they can quickly activate in times of disaster to serve their residents in the best way that they know how. And I think that is going to be providing an incredible just opportunity for our residents to feel empowered, that they can design and drive their own solutions, and government can be a partner and supporter.
Do you ever just go to the beach?
I do.
And my beach chair and a book and just sit down and do nothing?
Yes, I do. I do. I love my historical romance novels.
All right. We will leave it right there. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your thoughts about government with us on The Good Government Show. Thank you.
Mahalo nui, David. Take care.
That was Ashley Kierkiewicz, surfer, mom, and county council member, and some real insight into challenges you only get in Hawaii, like recovering from a volcanic eruption that destroys a beach. So join us again for our Good Government Show extras and for season 2 of The Good Government Show. I'm Dave Martin. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please tell your friends to listen too. Follow us and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and be part of the conversation. And please give us a 5-star rating right here where you're listening to this podcast. Your support helps us continue to tell stories of good government in action. For extras on all of our shows, visit our website, goodgovernmentshow.com. The Good Government Show is produced by Valley Park Productions. Jim Ludlow, David Martin, and David Snyder are the executive producers. Jason Stershic is our editor and producer. Some transcriptions were done by Kofi, Ajeasi, Ampah. Our hosts are me, David Martin, and Carol D'Oria. Join us again for The Good Government Show wherever you listen to your podcasts.